that you were at? The International Liberty Horse Association.
Yeah, so that's fairly new. So Dan and Elizabeth, James are obviously the founders behind the International Liberty Horse Association, and what it is just sort of like a platform of where we can, on their website there's heaps of videos of, into what Liberty horses are, what Liberty horse training is, where can you go to learn about, how to train a Liberty horse. And more so, this will be their third year. They've actually created a competition, and it's 3 days of where people actually, and there's different levels. You can start right in the halter, go up all the way through to like a freestyle of where you could have 10 horses, doing whatever you wanted.
Whatever your mind decides.
Yeah, so there's all different levels, and which I love, because it gives, those horses that are at the beginning and stages of their Liberty journey an opportunity to still come out, be in front of a crowd in an atmosphere, because that's probably the hardest thing, I'll say, with the Liberty horses, is going out, and performing with them. But there's not many opportunities to do that, unless, for example, we're here at Equitana last year, and I got to compete in as well, but the atmosphere was just massive. We just don't have those little building blocks. So that's where, I'm gradually building it, but like a Southeast Queensland Liberty Horse Association group, which will run under the IHLA, to give training days, give opportunities, bring in other instructors, into actually making Liberty a discipline here in Australia. So that's my goal.
That is wonderful, Ben. And what struck me most when you were explaining that was that having the different levels, because a lot of people think, well, I'm not capable of doing that because the horses, they're not going to run around me or do whatever is required. But if they're allowed to long lead them or whatever, it gives them an opportunity, and it inspires them when they see, well, I'm only a few steps away. Yeah. That's just wonderful.
And the other side of the Liberty, what I love is that, it gives those opportunity of people who have the love and passion of horses, but not necessarily want to ride.
Yes.
And, horses that, maybe that can't be, no longer ridden anymore, due to injury, or, it gives those horses the opportunity, to have a, second chance. Yeah.
Because we're all different.
Yeah, exactly.
We all have different qualities, etc. And I'm really fascinated with that, to be really quite honest. That is,
it's very cool, and I can't wait to see how it grows over the years here in Australia.
Well, I think with the people behind it, and if they stay with it, it's only going to grow. Yeah. Because the amount of people not requesting, but asking for information, I think you'll have your hands full.
Yeah, so I'm really lucky. I got invited to be a clinician there at the big the competition there in Kentucky this year, so I get to be alongside.
We have to wave to Kay, because we know Kay as well. We've known her for a long time.
To be alongside Warwick Schiller and Ben Atkinson, and there's some other great clinicians there as well. So pretty excited to be alongside them this year in Kentucky.
Oh, I don't know how you can contain yourself.
I know, right?
Seriously, that's just on the cusp of. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, what I would also like to have a chat to you about. You're starting, and we were talking about it before, Gardner Equestrian. Yeah. And yourself. Can you explain to people the idea? Because I've never really thought about it, but when you explained it to me, it just sounded a great idea. It's a bounce. Can you let everybody know?
Yeah, definitely. So earlier this year, Joe Gardner sent me a message, and I was actually really fortunate enough to work with him. I think he come and stayed at Dan James's place in the States for about 4 weeks. And he has been really fortunate to work with Cavalia and some exceptional, trainers overseas. And so he sort of sent me a message and said, look, I know you're living at Case Ra Farm now. I did a clinic there last year. Any chance you want to team up and do something together? And I was like, sure, why not? And it was really cool how the clinic worked together. Like, Joe and I actually hadn't seen each other in 4 years, but he sort of would take the morning sessions, I'd take the afternoon sessions, but we'd still be there for each other, and we could just sort of be that support person. So rather than having to talk your little heart out for 8-9 hours straight, we could break it up and bounce ideas off each other. And the other really cool thing is that not everything has to be the same. there's some things that are going to work for some people and some things that aren't going to work for others. So, people could, pick and choose what they would take from us as well. And, we made that clear thing that there's no right or wrong thing in what we're doing. It's what works for you and your horse. So that was a huge one for me, coming out of that clinic. And then I'm really excited. I have Ash Barnett, who was the winner of the Liberty competition at Equitana last year. She's coming up next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For a 3-day clinic together, and then in June I head up to Naomi Lee's place from Sundance Horsemanship, and we're doing a 3 days ladies retreat together. So I really like this collaboration of working alongside other trainers, because like I said, it's this cup that we just got to keep filling up, and you can never stop learning. And I think it's really cool being able to bounce off from each other, and teaching a 3-day clinic all by yourself, it's hard, and having that other person there, it really just, it makes it nice and easy.
Well, it shows how things are changing, because when I was younger, and I'm a lot older than you, it was sort of one person. They didn't sort of want to really share ideas.
Yeah.
And it was only when a few Americans came over that the idea shared. But now you guys are exposing that into the benefits of it, because all this horsemanship, it's ideas, and you said that, not
that's
me.
Where, I think Dan was, when I was working with Dan in the States, we would jump in and support in his clinics, and then even when I've been down, working for Dan Steers, we did an Intro Liberty clinic down there, and he's like, oh, hey, Skye, can you, take this group? And then we switched those groups over, so, they got both of us as well, and I don't know, everyone seemed to really enjoy that, so I think it's just a good way to, collaborate all together.
That's absolutely unbelievable. I just find that really encouraging, and it's got to be very prosperous for the industry.
Yeah.
Another thing, we were talking about it before also, we had a little chat beforehand, regarding the stock, the Australian, where you work down the coast.
Yeah, so the Australian Stock Horse National Championship.
Yes, the Australian Stock, yes.
So just recently, I was really fortunate enough to ride an exceptional mare down at the Australian Stock Horse National Championships, and I've got a good client of mine and friend, Kerry Sullivan, to thank to give me an opportunity to take on Blueberry, that mare's just exceptional. So an opportunity to be a lifetime, and this is where I see sort of my personal horses heading more so. I bought myself a little unbroken stock horse that I hope to start myself and take through through to hopefully nationals and challenges and cow horse events, and really help show that. And everyone knows how versatile the stock horses are. Like that mare that I took down, she competed in dressage, she did the futurity, she did the lead, she did the hack classes, she did the English hack classes, and that's where I really like the national championships there. There's even show jumping there, they've got camp drafting.
Yes.
It really shows the versatility of the stock horse, and I've had some great stock horses in my lifetime, and really excited to work alongside Kerry, especially with this mare Blueberry, because I think she's going to be really special.
Well, I think the versatility, what you're explaining then to everyone, that's paramount, because not everyone is able to have a barn full of reiners, cow horses, dressage, hack, bridle path, whatever.
Yeah.
We can't, so we want a horse we can go and enjoy ourselves. Yeah. And those that can, that's great too. Don't get me wrong, because they employ a lot of people, and that's how we get on in the industry.
Yeah.
But for you to be able to have the versatility like that, and that's just wonderful, because people go, hey, my horse is strong. That's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And the other one I wanted to talk about was the down the coast with the Australian. I've just lost my Outback Spectacular.
Yes.
Because I think that was very interesting how it seems to be like a hive, and as like a queen bee leaves and goes somewhere else to take all this information, but they're so I was really lucky. While I was at university, studying to be a school teacher, that's a whole nother story. When I think I started working there when I was 19 at Australian Outback Spectacular, so it gave me the opportunity to study during the day, but then have pretty much a full-time job at night time. But it was so much more than a full-time job for me. That when I first started there, I was there for just under 5 years. And I actually, of all things, I started in the food and beverage section. And I'm pretty sure at that time the food and beverage manager was, because I was that useless as a wait staff, was like really pushing at this time for Tony Jablonski, who is now sadly passed away, who played a huge role as well. He was my pony club president from when I was 6 years old. So I've known Tony for a long time. Yes. So to have that
opportunity to get an audition, and at that stage they were only looking for trick riders, and I was like, you know what, give me a crack at it. And so I did the trick audition, fell off in my audition, and they were like, righty, you have 6 weeks to learn these tricks. And this is where my exceptional friend Holly Shields
I know
coached
Holly.
me, and I still remember her voice, get up out of the corner, Skye. And I'm like, I'm trying, okay. I was black and blue for 6 weeks straight, let me tell you, well and truly after that, learning how to trick ride. But yeah, I owe that to Holly. Like, she put her heart and soul into me, and in 6 weeks I learnt the tricks that needed to be into the show, and I got the job as the trick rider. So, and that, you know, that led me to so many other opportunities there at Outback Spectacular. Obviously I was a trick rider, but I also got to play the lead role of Kate. I did stable hand work, I worked in the wardrobe. There would even be some nights they would need me between food and beverage and trick riding. So I'd be serving food, go trick ride in the show, come back, help serve food, and the crowd would be like, weren't you just down there? I was like, yeah, I was. So, you know, yeah, I really, really enjoyed my time down there. And like I said, it's this, I'm still so good friends with so many people that I work throughout the industry there. And, you know, I think it's a, you know, really, especially from building confidence in front of a crowd, because let me tell you, I fell off, I got hurt, I got stuck in a helicopter. You know, you're sitting up there in front of everyone, you're like stuck in there and you're like, hey. You know, so I guess especially from like an audience factor, like, you know, you fear, like, by the time, you know, you got how many shows I would have done, you know, you don't even notice the crowds there anymore. So I guess that's a lot of questions I get asked, you know, well, as an Equitana starting mayor, and I don't even see a crowd anymore when I'm performing. No idea.
You can do your work.
Yeah,
you're not conscious of anything else.
No, not conscious of it. So yeah, I think that's a huge part of Outback Spectacular. Gave me the confidence, you know, to perform in front of a crowd, like, yeah, talk or whatever it is, like, because every night, you know, and that's the thing, stuff did go wrong, and you just sort of got to learn to go with it, not get flustered by it, and keep the show going. And that's what we had to do every single night. No matter what happened, you got to keep that show going. So
that's an exceptional, that's just wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm still close with them there now. Heidi McKay, she's put together an event called Mastery of the Horse, and so lucky I was got to help Dan Steers there last year, going back this year, and this is where another part of my journey is leading into. Cowgirls Gathering and Mastery of the Horse are actually working alongside together this year to bring these two events to life. So yeah, I guess.
Can we please expand on the Cowgirls Gathering?
Yes,
and Mastery of the Horse? But we'll start with the Cowgirls Gathering.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got a role in that you're playing.
Yes, so this will be our 3rd year. So the first year I was actually just presented there as a clinician. And then last year I took on a role of being the sponsorship director. So bringing in, you know, some amazing prizes and all that sort of stuff to the event last year, and just getting that collaboration happening, met some great new people. And then this year, when Amanda mentioned to me, she's like, oh, would you want to look after, you know, the education and competition and clinics this year? Yes. And I was like, that is my alley. So this year, I've got a great lineup of clinicians coming. Changed up the competitions a little bit again. Race to Ranch again, off the track thoroughbred competition returns in a different sort of aspect this year, and we're about to do a media release on that. How's it going to
be a little bit different, or is it got to be quiet?
Oh no, I can explain about it all. So this year, like normally the last 2 years, it's been a selection of people. Yes. But what I really want to enhance this year is people that, you know, might already have an off-the-track thoroughbred. You know, they might have been training for the last few years, right? So it's actually going to be open to where we're sort of probably going to cap it between 20 and 30 riders this year. And they actually, we'll go through a compulsory round, and top 10 riders will actually go into a final round of a freestyle. So sort of mixing it up a little bit, opening it up to as many riders as we can, and to really showcase the off-the-track thoroughbreds this year. But I'm really excited for Cowgirls Gathering. The team that we have are just exceptional. Especially special mention to Brittany, Jen and Amanda. You know, the team of us, we work so well together. Our little brains, you know, work all day long of, you know, how can we continue to make this event, you know, a great place where people want to come to. And I think the feedback, you know, that we've got back from the last couple of years is that, you know, people feel safe there. You know, it's a place where, you know, you can have a go. You know,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's where, you know, we're really just pushing that, you know, it's a place to feel safe, it's a place to learn, it's a place to, you know, have a laugh, you know, but also, you know, learn something. And then, you know, there's competitions there as well. So we're truly trying to make it something for everyone.
And that seems to be an underlying theme in a lot of things you've participated in.
Yeah.
Is to being able to get people to come on.
Yeah.
It's not just about, oh, me.
Yeah.
That's far from it. That's so far from it. Yeah, what I mean about yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing more satisfying, you know, especially I've got some, you know, younger children, you know, that I teach some lessons to, and, you know, to see them, some of them compete there last year, there's nothing that beats that. And, you know, lots of close friends, clients again that competed in the Liberty competition.
Yes.
You know, to go out, you know, that's been a goal of theirs all year, you know, to see them out there. Like, you know, you literally got the old, you know, tears trickling down your face because you're so proud of them. And this is what I love doing is, you know, helping people along the way and, you know, seeing how far they come, seeing all those little building blocks, you know, come together for that final piece.
That's just wonderful. Now, another thing you mentioned and I would like to talk about is mastery of the horse.
Yeah, so Heidi McKay has done an exceptional job putting this event together. So it's actually based out of the facility where Australian Outback Spectacular is.
Okay.
And it's 3 days, and they have 5 exceptional clinicians this year.
Yes.
Warwick Schiller, Dan Steers, Brett Parbury, Clem Smith, and Cody Harris. And
oh my!
All those guys are just exceptional. I've been, you know, really luckily to have met them all within my journey so far. So to have all of them under the one roof, it's going to be,
that's
absolutely
enormous.
epic. Yeah. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if you're getting people from overseas coming to view this, because that really is quite an exceptional lineup. So.
Yeah, and it once again, this is only Heidi's second year, but I can't wait to see over the years how it grows, because it's a great thing that she's putting together.
Wow. Now, for other young people that are wanting to start in the industry or have started and they've just watched this and thought, oh my, you've put yourself out there to get to these places, what sort of advice for themselves, for you to suggest to them if they're wanting to follow? Because it's dedication. There's no, you can't not, you've got to be, you know, focused. But what sort of advice would you be giving to these people such that they want to be like Skye? Seriously, they want to be like you.
That's very kind. But I guess it's just, if you've got a dream, go for it.
Yes.
Like, don't hold back on it. Like, obviously, I did start out being a school teacher, and that was a sort of like a, you know, mum and dad saying, you know, you probably should just have that job, you know, that. And honestly, the school teaching is what got me overseas, because I earned really good money working up in a mining town. Okay. So, you know, that, I guess I do dedicate my school teaching to pay for that, you know, time overseas, because, you know, I wasn't there for the money.
No.
And I think if that's one thing I'd take away from the horse industry, is that if you want to learn from the best, you've got to be willing to put in your time and dedication to it, without, you know, expecting, you know, you're going to walk away with $1,000 in your pocket at the end of the week, because that's not what it's about.
No.
You know, it's absorbing from these people. It's, you know, taking opportunities that they give you. And that's where, you know, the Dans have just been fantastic to me, in that, you know, as long as you're willing to put in the hard work, you know, they're willing to give you back the same in, you know, education and opportunities. But, and I guess I've seen a lot of it. You know, I've even had, you know, while I was at Dans, I had one girl come up to me and she's like, oh, when are you going to stop making me clean stalls? And I said, look, I'm in my late 20s and I'm still cleaning stalls. If you're going to be in the horse industry, girl, this is the rest of your life. And I think Clinton Anderson has some great podcasts on this, you know, where he talks about, you know, and he's seen a lot of young people that, you know, are trying to break into the industry, but they're expecting to be paid, you know, ridiculous amounts. They're expecting to sit on a horse all day long. That's not.
I just laugh because that's exactly right. They're not willing to do 99% effort.
No, and that's, you know, that's the hard work of it. And it's, you know, even if you are sick, you still got to drag yourself out of bed. Those horses need to be fed. You know, there's no such thing as a sick day in the horse industry.
No, and it's not just because whatever. You've got to put the time in.
Yeah.
You just got to put the time in.
And I guarantee, if you find the right person and you prove yourself to them, they'll give you all their heart. But you've got to prove yourself. That's the one thing I will
suggest
say.
that every person that you've mentioned today would have done the same thing
Yep.
when they were younger. They just
100%.
didn't walk out the door
Nope.
and make horses lie down, bow, stand up, be able to run a cow down the fence, run it. It doesn't work like that at all.
No, it
doesn't
doesn't.
work like that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Skye, you're truly an extraordinary person.
Thank you. This is very kind.
Your efforts, and you're still really young. And it's going to be very interesting to keep following you and to see what you achieve, because I think sky's the limit. And
I feel like I'm just at the beginning.
That's what I mean. There's no boundaries on these things, is there? It's only your desire. And every day that you get out of bed and you still wish to pursue this, you're on you're on a train that's just heading. And congratulations to you. And from Just Equus, I really appreciate your time, because just listening to what you've been doing, you are a very busy individual, but I think that's part of life.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I can't. I wake up with a smile on my face. I go to bed with a smile on my face. I've got great people around me, and look at the place where I live.
I know.
Yeah.
So Skye, thank you very much.
No,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it very much. Cheers.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.